My name is Presley. I always feel like it's so weird to say like your job when you say who you are. Like everyone expects you to be like, I work in this. Like that's not really me. I would say I try to lead with love every day. And the idea of introducing myself like already makes me emotional. I'm probably the most emotional person you'll ever have on this seat. Um, Actually, definitely, not probably. So yeah, I'm a big ball of love and strong emotion. Yeah. So I'm glad to be here. Let's see. Has it always been easy for you to express yourself authentically? Is there anything you're still holding back? I would say that as I've gotten older, expressing myself authentically has gotten easier, but it's not because of years on earth. It's because of practice and doing it scared, you know? Anything holding me back, I kind of feel like authenticity is like the same as when people say, oh, when you think you know it all, that's when you know the least, right? So I know enough to know that like there will always be something to work on in regards to my own authenticity. It has not always been easy to express myself fully. I would say that surrounding myself with people who make me feel safe and seen and having truly like the best partner in the whole wide world has helped a lot with that. So I guess work in progress. And if it were something to be holding me back, I would say pretty generically just fear of how it will be perceived, you know? Um, the world is pretty hard and I'm pretty soft. And so it's like just recognizing where it's safe to be that authentic. Yeah. Okay. I like this one. What do you want people to feel when they move with you? I want them to remember who the hell they are. I want them to forget about me and what it looks like or what it should be or ought to be and just like embrace what it is. Um, yeah, like what do I want people to feel? I feel like the feeling when you put like one hand on your hand, one hand on your heart, one hand on your hand, close your eyes and take a breath. And like biggest exhale you've got. I want moving with me to feel like that. And if that is what happens, then I'm succeeding. So that's no matter what modality I'm teaching, like that's the intention. What am I doing when I feel most myself? The first thing that came to my head was running. I've been a runner my whole life. I love running. I can't even believe I cannot even believe that it's like an exercise and that it's like quote unquote healthy for you because it just feels so integral to like who I am that when I'm doing it, I just feel so at peace. And so that's for sure one. Also, I process my feelings and get kind of like, I have a very cathartic response to making playlists and curating music that just kind of like feels in tune with how I feel that day. So when I'm curating a playlist, even if it's just for me, if I'm like sitting there like, ooh, this one would hit so hard right now, or like these lyrics like really resonate, making playlists that kind of like tell a story or feel cinematic in a sense, that is definitely something that makes me feel most like myself. And then also, I just love being, I'm definitely more of an extrovert than an introvert, in that and I think that, by the way, like off record, well, I guess on record, I think that the terms introvert and extrovert are really misused a lot of times and misunderstood. just because I'm an extrovert doesn't mean that I don't need time like to decompress and be with myself, but I get most energized and excited to be around others. So when I'm with others, like that's what fills my cup up. And I'm learning that there is so much value in being by myself and like not always having to be with others. You know, because I think for a long time I kind of fell back on that crutch of like, oh, I'm an extrovert, so I'm going to fill every hour of my day with someone. And if I'm not with someone, I'm going to call someone because I'm an extrovert. But the truth is, I was just avoiding like being with me. And so, PSA to all extroverts out there, you know, like you can be an extrovert and also it's important to like be able to be with you. But yes, I do feel like most like myself when I'm with my best friends or with my fiance Michael, and just having like a really deep second, third, fourth level conversation where you just like dig in on something really juicy, you know? So yeah, those are some things for me that I feel most like myself. Ooh, okay. If your wildest dreams had already come true, what would your future self tell you to stop holding back? That one's hard for me. Usually like I have like an intuitive like gut first response. If my wildest dreams had already come true, what would my future self tell me to stop holding back? I feel like I can fall into a trap sometimes of imposter syndrome, especially when it comes to when I first started, you know, people use the phrase generically like holding space. When I first started being in a place where I was on a microphone and a lot of people were listening to me, I was really young, um, which I'm so grateful for. But I think when someone hands you a mic and tells you to inspire people when you're 21 years old and everyone around you is decades older, sometimes that can just like feel really overwhelming. You're like, what do I have to share that's gonna resonate, or that's going to, that they haven't already, you know, been through with their wisdom. And so I think that my wildest dreams, I guess first it would be important to even define what that even is, if it's coming true. And I think I'm still figuring out what my wildest dreams are. But I know that whatever the definition of wildest dreams are, for me, I need to hold back this feeling that I need to achieve something first before I can chase it down. Almost like I need to continue to prove why I'm worthy to follow my dreams, I think. So, yeah, my future self would probably say, take the first step even if you can't see the ending, and trust that you've got you and that's all you need. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me, I'd say, on that one. What am I learning to love about myself? You're gonna have to edit out the crying. um, I have an emotional reaction reading that question. Um, it's, you know, it's this part. I I remember being really young and someone said like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And I remember hearing someone say that. It must have been like on the playground or something, like, oh, my mom said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And I remember being like, that's not true for me. I was like, can someone break my arm then? Because that would hurt less than like how I feel when I'm sad, or I feel other people's emotions really strong. I think that that part of me, I would like, you know, go to my room or hide away at the depth in which I felt emotion for a really long time. Just because, like, I felt like that's not, I don't know what I thought. I just didn't feel safe sharing that part of me, I guess. And it's just been a process for a long time, but I'm confident to say that I love that part of myself. I wouldn't change it. But it certainly doesn't make life easy. um, and yeah, like it's just hyper empathy. And yeah, it's hard to describe to anyone who hasn't ever felt it before. But it just cracks your heart right open. And so I'm just learning to, I guess I would say love is a strong word for me around it, but I'm just starting to learn to appreciate and acknowledge the incredibly sensitive parts of me and hopefully love. Yeah. Any final thoughts? I just think the work that you're doing is not just needed, but uh, so different than what anyone else is doing. And, it's not because I don't think anyone's ever thought of, hey, it would be cool to ask people questions. Like, there's 30 million podcasts out in the world. You know what I mean? Long form conversation isn't new, but your vision of how to do it is what's different. And um, yeah, I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. I hope that if anything comes from any of the videos you're doing, it's that, someone who will never sit here or do this can see a clip online and feel less alone because, you know, I think secrets and shame are what keep us all sick and feeling lonely. And so I'm just filled with a lot of gratitude. And that's kind of a word that I think it's overused, but like truly grateful that you reached out to me to be a part of this, and I am honored.